Is it true that you're a suspect in a murder case?
Actor Colin Farrell is under investigation after a man was found dead inside a burning apartment.
I don't remember that night at all.
And because I had a blackout that night, I wondered,
could have I done it?
We have a guy who got away with murder here. I'm a little scared of Colin Farrell.
How come he doesn't remember?
We were at a party the other side of town doing.
His alibi makes no sense.
Get the people with the white coats and see if I don't f***ing stab them all.
Colin Farrell, the man who became the Penguin, is in trouble.
It's like you get so deep into a character that it changes you. I looked in the mirror and none of me was there. I had no idea who I was or what I had become.
They said, what do you think about that picture? And I went, I think I'm in trouble.
It started innocently enough. Colin was driving his mother to the airport, the sun already creeping up over the horizon, a seemingly normal day. Then, the flashing lights appear in the rearview mirror. He's pulled over, cuffed, and brought to the station. Colin was put in a small holding room and interrogated by police. They told him a man had been beaten unconscious in his own apartment. The place was then set on fire, and he was left to die a brutal death. At first, Colin had no idea what this had to do with him, why they had brought him in, and why they were looking at him like that. Then they slid a pencil sketch across the table. Their main suspect, Colin, looked down and saw his own face staring back at him.
They said, what do you think about that picture? And I went, I think I'm in trouble.
The night before, Colin had been on one of his many benders, drinking, using, disappearing into the haze. Now, sitting handcuffed in the police station, he couldn't remember a thing. Where he'd been, what he'd done, who he might have hurt. For 6 long hours, he sits there, stomach churning, running through every fragment of memory. But staring at the sketch of his face, a cold thought crept in. Could he have done it? Could he have beaten the man and left him for dead?
Everyone I knew who'd met you had a story to tell about you, and it was obviously you were pretty full on.
I'd been fairly drunk or high since I was 14, so I created an environment for myself and a way of living for myself that on the outside seemed incredibly gregarious and vivacious.
Colin's drinking habits were far from ordinary. It was rumored he could put away 3 bottles of whiskey, 12 bottles of wine, and 60 pints of beer every week. He admitted to having entire gaps in his memory, so when the police kept pressing him about where he'd been that night, he had no answers. Colin knew if he was found guilty, everything would be over. His career, his freedom, his life. But just as the walls were closing in, a friend came through with crucial evidence. Luckily, one of Colin's friends had kept a journal, and it showed that at the same time of the vicious attack, they'd been across town at a party, lost in an ecstasy haze. That journal was the only thing standing between him and a murder charge. The journal proved Colin's innocence. He walked out of the station a free man. Most people would take that kind of scare, the kind where you're drinking so much you wonder if you've killed someone, as a wake-up call. But for Colin, it wasn't. Not even close. Because Hollywood loved the reckless bad boy Colin was becoming. He was the charming star who showed up tipsy to interviews, cracked slurred jokes, and lit up every room with his magnetic chaos. It was all part of his appeal.
My mother's gone from please don't say in interviews to I mean, did he call you kid? What are you looking over my shoulder? What's over there? Oh, they're cue cards. Oh, no, I like chicken rights. The starry man.
From the outside, it looked like nothing more than harmless drunken fun. The Hollywood rebel playing his part. His career was on fire, and his face seemed to be everywhere. Red carpets, billboards, magazine covers.
Well, I love this article. It said, look at the title of this article. Have you had sex yet with Colin Farrell? What does this mean? Take a poll. A surprising amount of people are saying no to that, but I'm young. Young, I have time. You have time, yeah. Now, the sex symbol thing, are you comfortable with it? Do you have fun with it? Or do I have fun with it? Yeah. When I'm in bed with someone, yeah.
He had a string of high-profile romances with people eager to claim a piece of the good-looking bad boy.
A sex tape with Colin Farrell and Playboy bunny Nicole Narain has been leaked online for the world to see.
Look, watch. Lindsay.
I'll be in your dressing room.
See, boys, whiskey and cigarettes. Works every time.
The whole world stopped and looked and took pictures. This was a great story. Made great headlines.
I think Britney was trying to come out with her bad girl image at the time, and walking down a red carpet with Colin Farrell was just perfect for that.
But that bad boy image soon twisted into something darker. The drinking and drugs followed him onto set, and he began chain smoking and knocking back drinks in the middle of interviews.
What about, this whole celebrity life you're leading now?
What about that for a load of bullshit? I've changed.
The more he indulged and fell deeper into his addiction, the worse his memory became. On one film set, he was so hungover, it took him 56 takes just to deliver a single line.
There are periods of your life, I guess, where you can't clearly remember what was going on. Would I be right? Nothing there at all. Just a gap.
Just a gap.
Wow,
void.
that must be quite a weird thing.
Over time, even Hollywood's patience wore down. The chaos that once made him magnetic now made him a risk. The headlines stopped being amusing, and the offers started to dry.
Were you becoming unemployable? Yeah. The word was getting round. Yeah, it was. And I had people that were in my life who were very concerned, not for whether I was employable or not, for whether I was going to be alive or not.
By the time the concerns set in, Colin already had his first child on the way. And for a moment, it seemed like everything might finally change.
You're going to be a dad in a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
is that right?
Yeah.
A couple of weeks.
October 12th. First time I met James, he was 6 weeks old because I was in Morocco doing Alexander, and the doctor said he could fly at 6 weeks. So his mother flew over to Marrakesh, and I met him on a runway. And I'll never forget the moment she opened the shawl, and I saw him for the first time, and it was the most powerful thing I've ever experienced. It hit me like a steam train. I wasn't in any condition to take care of another human being. And people say, having a kid changes you. No, it doesn't.
Even with a baby at home, he kept going and showed no sign of slowing down.
It wasn't going to change me, man. I was going to be the friend daddy, I was going to be his pal, and it was going to be all great, and I was still going to have my life the way I wanted it.
I thought all my newborn son needed was, a 26-year-old pisshead best friend. There were times when I was with my son, and I was wondering how long do I have to be with him before the people around me will think that I've done a decent job so I can get pissed.
I just couldn't stop. I was filling myself with plethora of stuff, plethora of stuff I was putting into my body, and I couldn't stop, and I just knew I was really sick. And I was close to...
Colin's family began to fear for his life. They could see he was approaching the point of no return. More than anything, they didn't want his son to grow up without a father.
I remember my sister saying to me, maybe my brother suggesting that they were going to sign me in, and being so self-centered and so dogmatic in the pursuit of what I wanted to pursue, which was oblivion, that I remember saying to them, try it. Get the people with the white coats and see if I don't stab them all.
Colin refused to accept help, but as James's first year unfolded, things didn't go as Colin had imagined. Every parent dreams of a healthy, happy child, but slowly he began to notice something was wrong.
James started having seizures really early. At the age of about 7 or 8 months, he wasn't hitting certain benchmarks that children at that age are supposed to hit. He wasn't sitting up, he wasn't crawling, he wasn't cooing.
Colin did what every parent dreads but knows they must. He took James to the doctor. As the doctor examined James, ran tests, and scribbled notes, Colin sat there, watching his son smile through it all, blissfully unaware.
The doctor saw how happy he was. He was like, does he always smile this much? And I looked at him, James was going, and I went, yeah. And he went, does he like water? And he said, obsessed with water. And he said, has it been tested for Angelman? I said, no. And they tested him, and that was it. Angelman syndrome is a neurogenetic condition that manifests itself in a variety of different ways. Impaired speech or complete lack of speech, jerky gait, trouble with fine motor skills. It's a seizure condition. The first step, all parents talk about it. So then imagine that you're told your child may never walk.
The room fell quiet. The words sank in. His son might never take his first steps. James needed him now more than ever.
He was a big, big part of me putting the bottle down, you know, a big part of it, because I was in no condition to be a father of a child with such exacting needs. I went somewhere for 5 or 6 weeks, and I came out of the haze that I was in and that I burrowed myself into so deeply. And then at the end of it, you come out of that safe environment and it's back to the world, and everything was just in a degree of focus that I hadn't experienced. And so if it wasn't for my sobriety, I wouldn't be able to be there for James and enjoy in the marvel of his life and support him in the way that I feel that I can.
Colin poured himself into fatherhood, spending every moment he could by his son's side. And then one day, he witnessed something he'd never thought he'd see. And this time, he was sober enough to remember it.
I'll never forget James's first steps, 2 weeks short of his 4th birthday. She came upstairs and she said, "James has something to show you." And she said, "Go over there." And I stood over there, and she had him, and she let him go, and he just came. It was so profound. I mean, it was magic. I mean, I'll never forget, and there's the face of determination on him as he just walked towards me, you know, and he took like 6 steps, and I burst into tears. It was amazing. He's just really, really bright light that illuminates everybody he comes in contact with. You know, he also gifts me with the ability to look at the human being and the human body and life as a marvel, because I see how much he struggles with things that I would never have given a second's thought to, that I would just, like many of us, take for granted. I've been blessed to have 2 really, really fine young men in my charge. I'm not even joking. Every day I just think they're just magic, both of them. I just adore them.
I'm guessing, because I know you to be a great father, I'm guessing that you didn't go out on Friday night to any of these parties. You stayed home and watched The Whale with your son.
Correct, how'd you know that?
Yeah.
We were in our pajamas eating cheeseburgers, watching The Whale. It was perfect.
I made some changes in my life which allowed me to open up to the gravity of bringing a child into the world. Change can't be inflicted upon a person. It has to be kind of invited. I mean, you know, there can be a change of circumstance and a change, but to have change in your life, I think, lasting change, effective change, positive change, you have to be open.